Did the pandemic wipe out your wedding day plans? Did you celebrate your 21st birthday or even graduate college from your parents' living room? We can't change that, but we can make your life a little better with a year's worth of Corona beer and Stewart's ice cream, and $500 to help you get back on your feet with the 2 Buttons Deep Bounce Back Bundle. If you've had a milestone event in your life derail due to the pandemic, tell us your story today for a chance to win.
Enter at 2buttonsdeep.com/bounceback. Must be 21 or older to enter.
You just watched it. Viewers out there, the squad just watched it for the first time. 2 Buttons Deep is kicking off today's Squadcast with a very special announcement. Listen, we've all had life events and things that have been just a total bummer during the pandemic. Some people, it was big life events. You know, for us, it was business as usual kind of going away. But you know what 2 Buttons Deep has done? We've made the most of it. We've adapted to a virtual Squadcast. We created all kinds of crazy shenanigans with our friends at Stewart's, and now we're bringing it to life. So for those who don't know, this is the day. This is the day we announce the Buttons Deep Bounce Back Bundle. It's a big spin-off of a lot of content that we've created if you have been following along. But if you haven't and you've just been bummed out, we're going to give one lucky winner a year's worth of Stewart's Shops ice cream. I'm going to pause. Let that sink in.
Yeah.
A year's worth of free ice cream. A year's worth of Corona Premier beer. Real beer. Alcohol beer. Sam, I know, but you can't win. Sorry. And last but not least, $500 freaking cash. That's basically half a stimulus check. And all you have to do is submit a video of how you made the most of your life event. Tell us your story. You know, write a little paragraph for 2 Buttons Deep. We're going to review it as a squad. We're going to nominate 5 people to be allowed into public voting because we're here for the people. We want to know what the people have to say. So this is a very exciting day in 2 Buttons Deep history. It's our first big real deal contest with a prize that, you know, it's Jack's world. It's near and dear to his heart. It's a sign of the times. It's every phrase that Jack's been saying this whole time. And guys, what are your reactions? What do you think we're going to get? Jack, I'll kick it off to you.
Well, I would say this is actually Sam's world. This is the Corona crib he's been looking for. And this all started with Sam. Gary approached us wanting to help out Sam because he felt bad, something about the way we were treating him. And we said, why are we helping Sam? He doesn't need it. Look at him. He's got a blow-up Corona that he hasn't finished. It's just been sitting there for the last month. He doesn't need Corona gear. So we put our brains together and we said, you know, people like beer, people like ice cream. And what better way to bounce back while we're sitting at home than a fridge full for an entire year of the best goods in the business, plus $500. So if you turned 21, if you had your wedding postponed, college graduation, you had a baby, you lost your job, something big that you need to recuperate from, submit a video today. And, you know, tomorrow might be your day. Sorry, Sam, you can't enter though.
Sam, I'm going to ask you next, but I want to bring up, and if you can bring it up for us, great. You sparked a real meeting of the minds between 2 of our favorite people. And they didn't really know you, but they felt something for you. So just explain that for the camera and how you kind of got us to where we are today launching this contest.
Yeah, I have that type of energy. I bring people together. I accidentally called Gary Jerry when we were doing the mask competition. I had to redeem myself, which ended up being the Corona crib. Gary gave us a call, gave us an email, and he felt bad that I had to be in a little kid's pool in my bathroom. So he's like, hey, we should give Sam, you know, a bunch of Corona stuff. We're like, no, let's put it to a better use, pay it forward. And here we are. We got a big competition, a big sweepstakes, a great opportunity for people, our followers, our fans to win Corona, Stewart's ice cream, and cash. I couldn't imagine a better prize list for someone to try to win. I'm just going to tell you this. Don't let me deliver the Corona to the winner because they won't have a year's worth of Corona. They'll have a week's worth of Corona. So,
fair enough.
Katie, what do you think?
I'd just like to emphasize it's not just any ice cream. Like there's no bad ice cream. I mean, you know, I'm on the ice cream train now, but Stewart's ice cream, I mean, we're talking local, we're talking fresh, we're talking innovative flavors. Okay, so basically, you have dessert for a year. You're going 2 Buttons Deep with Corona. I'd say like Sam's lack of preparation for the mask contest catapulted us to now. So forgiven, right? Sam's procrastination got us here. And you know, he struck a little place in Gary's heart. So
Sam,
I'm all
next
for
thing
it.
we need you to do is get our own flavor, a 2 Buttons Eat flavor at Stewart's. So go call him Larry or something and spark it up again, okay?
I was taking one for the team for the competition, all sprinkles deep. I'm telling you, a Tito's infused, mango dragon fruit sherbet infused ice cream, all sprinkles deep. It's gonna happen. Give us a year. And I just want to say this: I'm a believer. I'm a firm believer in my opinions. I shouldn't have came in last. Taylor's wasn't even a mask, but you know,
Oh, get over it.
water under the bridge.
Get over it.
Wait a minute, Sam. And I don't want to, you know, we got a Squadcast to get to. Last thing. What I wanted Sam to bring up was that not only did Gary Dake get involved, but Gary took it upon himself to contact one of the other most powerful vice presidents of another company to make this happen. And I just want to read the note. Jack will put it up on the screen because it's a flex for 2 Buttons Deep. We got 2 of the biggest companies in the capital region on our side to partner for a cool giveaway. And this is what we read from Gary Dake after all this went down on 2 Buttons Deep World. He said, "Dear Jack, after watching last night's Squadcast, I reached out to Carmine DiCrescenti. We had a long discussion about Sam and his future on the squad. Carmine convinced me that we all make mistakes, and perhaps Sam's was the result of too much Corona. I had to admit that seeing Sam sitting in a puddle on the bathroom floor next to the toilet paper dispenser made me feel a little sorry for him. Carmine and I share the opinion that you should allow Sam back on the squad. Carmine even agreed to provide some Corona for the welcome back party. I hope you will give our recommendation serious consideration. Your president, Gary, not Jerry Dake." So the fact that we're taking up this much brain space in Gary Dake's head and we're able to spin this out into something that our fans and viewers and followers can enjoy is a pretty big deal, and I didn't want to let that go unnoticed. And now we hand it off to the people, right? We'll give you the rules. We'll give you the regulations. We'll give you the form you need to fill out on the website. It's 2buttonsdeep.com/bounceback. But the rest is up to you. So we're just going to wait, watch the submissions roll in, see what we get, and then keep this going. So stay tuned, everybody, for more content on this. But
Do you think this was Gary's way as our president to announce that he's having Carmine as his running mate for vice president of 2 Buttons Deep?
Wow. Wow.
We might need to offer him that position.
I don't know if I was ready to hear that right now, but I think between Stewart's, DiCrescenti, and the Albany Times-Union, we could have like a presidential cabinet of just total power players. You know, we got to get some girls on the squad, of course, but you know, I'm liking the direction that we're heading in, and now it's for the people to enjoy, not just for us.
Love it.
That's right.
Well, listen, guys, this is the Squadcast, after all, where we talk about all stuff worth talking about from the capital region and beyond. Today, we kicked it off with 2 Buttons Deep, which makes a lot of sense. That's how we just feel these days. But we got a lot of topics to get to. As you know, they're brought to you by the Albany Times-Union, just the go-to place. I mean, do I need to even say it anymore? You know where to get the news. Jack reads the paper. Katie checks the app. I scour the web for topics and send them out to my squad, all thanks to www.timesunion.com. So, anyways, we're going to get right into it. A lot of restaurant stuff today.
Yep.
A lot of restaurant stuff. People are getting hungry. Sam just went out for dinner with his mask. And,
All Buttons Deep.
The first one is pretty shocking. Peck's Arcade today announced that they are closing for good. Steve Barnes wouldn't let you get by, though, without a headline that made you seem like it was really over. He said, Peck's in Troy will be closing, and everybody's like, oh, my God. Right. By the way, I look like Bill Belichick today. I didn't even shower. I got, like, the Belichick thing going on.
You know, actually, now that you say it, I cut off sweatshirt.
I don't have it. I didn't even have time to shower today. Anyways, Peck's Arcade in Troy is closing, according to a Facebook post. It's closing officially as of Monday, 6/1. Its space, which will be modified, is being taken over by Donna's Italian, which, as you all know, was the failed business venture of Vic Christopher and Heather Levine that only lasted for about 6 months up on the hill. And I've done enough talking. Jack, what do you think?
I think this is a power move by Vic Christopher. We know, we love him. And he said it very publicly that the biggest issue with Donna's when they did this, I believe 2017, maybe in 2018, the biggest issue was location. It was up the higher end of Troy near RPI, not a lot of foot traffic, and he said it would have thrived in a better spot. It's now in a better spot. I think Donna's is going to thrive way beyond what Peck's was doing, only because when we go back, I don't think people are going to be spending as much as they were pre-pandemic. So Donna's probably has a lower price point. It's a perfect location. And if he's really going to pimp out all the rooms in the top floors for your private dining room experience, I think it's totally going to change the game. I am all on board with this. And I'm going to miss Peck's. I was talking to my girlfriend today. We already feel nostalgic that it's gone, and it's not even gone yet. But I'm sure they'll do pop-ups just like they have done with Donna's throughout the years. And I'm Team Vic Christopher on this. I think it's the right move.
Katie, you're our local foodie here in the 518. You must have some serious, deep thoughts about this.
I'm for it as well, actually. I mean, I think Vic, if there's one thing he thrives off of more than success, it's failure, right? So, I mean, he owned that Donna was a failure, but not the brand itself, the location and other logistics. So I feel like that's a challenge accepted move on his part. He's going to make it happen again. The Donna's pop-ups they've done in the past at Peck's have just done so well. So if anything, it's just like a flip-flop. Like a business that failed for Peck's, the Clark House Hospitality a few years ago was the grocery, where Little Peck's is now. But since COVID started, they've kind of built that space out to be a little local market. So it's just like constantly being agile, adapting, resilient, and I'm interested to see what happens. And to Jack's point, I'm really interested to see exactly the concept of upstairs. Like, I know at one point they were going to try to make that a hotel, but since COVID hit, like, they're trying to make whatever room situation they have up there, like private party dining rooms. So that's going to be really interesting to see what the new pace of dining is. And guys, for what it's worth, I want to plug one of my favorite restaurants here. It's in Schenectady. It's like it's on Peck's Arcade level in so many ways. Malcolm's. So once we're all open, up and running, I mean, they are doing delivery and takeout right now, but to go get the full experience, as you know, from a place like Peck's, food, service, local minded menus, definitely consider that.
Sam, you wouldn't even be allowed into Peck's Arcade with this no shirt, no shoes, no service thing going on. But do you have any comments?
No, I think Jack said it best. We support Vic and everything he does, so we're excited for Donna's. I've never been there before. I'm a recent resident here in the capital region, so I'm excited to try it out.
Yeah,
we're gonna be sad to see Little Peck's gone, but happy for a new opportunity for Vic in that area. I thinking of that location, I don't know any other Italian restaurants around there, so I think it would be a big success. And he's already been making like the pizzas. I think it's Monday night pizza and wine kind of thing, and he's had a lot of success around that. So I think that's some of the menu he might be incorporating. So I'm really excited about it. Can't wait to try it. And it's just a new change of scenery for that area in Troy. So I'm excited about it.
Well, I would like to maybe just mention real quickly, like when this all started, restaurants like Peck's Arcade or even our friend Chef Rick Orlando at New World Bistro, like those menus are not built to travel. Like you can't really necessarily recreate a dish and take it to go. So they couldn't really do the level of service or menus or flair that they've been doing in the past. So what better time to reinvent yourself? I mean, now is the time to do this kind of thing, right? We're all learning. Everything's a new normal. So I just wanted to throw that in there too.
How about you, Taylor?
Speaking of, I think you guys covered it, honestly. I was going to say just the sheer amount of times. I think I've been to Peck's 3 times in like 7 years. And I went to Donna's like 12 times in 6 months. So going along with Katie's thing with the takeout, I don't really do takeout anyways, not really my style, but I did the Donna's pop-up with Vic, a couple years ago when they brought it back, and they had this one pizza. It had like honey, and it was spicy, and it was so good. So I'm just hoping that that's on the menu, and if not, I'll make a special request. But speaking of new ideas and inventions, all the restaurants in the capital region are brainstorming. We've read a lot of opinion pieces that they think main streets and broadways and sidewalks should be opened up for public dining in the capital region, especially on Broadway in Saratoga, where, they are going to be absolutely devastated by the loss of people at track season. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. So this is an interesting concept. This is what they've been doing in Europe forever. If you go to Barcelona or parts of England or other, European cities, the streets are shut down. Like the restaurants pull out into the sidewalks and people walk along the middle of, the promenade. And that's kind of the vibe. I think it was my dad said, though, people are going to be so hot on the pavement sitting out in the middle of a street. My dad said, quote, "I would love to be an umbrella salesman if that happens."
Your dad.
I was like, Go Dad, good move. So
Entrepreneur.
I think people will also just be really pissed about, the lack of streets being available to drive and park. But Sam, I'll kick it to you for this one.
So this is a funny topic that you brought up. Jack called me 10 minutes before the show. Hey, we need you on the Squadcast. I was like, I need to go to Dawn's and pick up some chicken wings. I just ordered it. And I was having the same conversation with Dawn about this. I was asking her how she was doing, are they ready to reopen? And she's like, yeah, they might be closing out the streets for dining. And it was just a funny, conversation that we were having because I saw a post in the Syracuse area that they were doing the same thing, closing the streets, dining. One thing I'm worried about, if they close the street, Dawn was saying that they might be closing, part of that Sheridan Ave where Alma and we live. That means it's just another survival of the fittest to find parking around here. So it's going to be tough for us at the Nick. But I did get some chicken wings from Dawn's. It's really good. Side note here, I borrowed another item from Dawn. So me and Dawn are becoming really close friends now.
Sounds like it.
I borrowed another item from Dawn. I mentioned that my buddy's visiting from town, a kid I grew up with, right? I knew him since I was 10 years old. And every time he goes to someone's house, he clogs the toilet. So I needed a plunger. I was texting everyone in the building, hey, do you have a plunger? I end up borrowing a plunger from Dawn. So that's the second item on the list that I borrowed from her. She loves me. So we're like bestest friends right now. The chicken wings were delicious.
You said that already.
I hope you washed your hands
I'm trying
first.
to give her a plug. And then because she let me borrow another item, a plunger. And I think, I don't know. I wouldn't have an issue sitting in the streets eating. I'm just going to be worried about our parking for that particular area that we live in right now. But
Yeah, I
Jack.
think
I hear that.
what comes to my mind first is what chaos it is to park in Saratoga Springs already on a nice summer day. It's one of my least favorite activities in the capital region, moving all around for spaces. So that's going to eliminate probably 10 to 20% of total parking spots, and they're the best ones to have.
Right.
It'll help the restaurants, but when I was reading the article and they said it's part of 9N, which is a state route, logistically, I don't think you can really shut down a street. I know Jeff Buell tried to do it on First Street in Troy. He kind of put his heart and soul into it, and that didn't work out. I think the best solution, meeting in the middle, is doing the parking space parks that Troy did. Every restaurant got one parking space, and they could develop it however you want. You can fit a dozen people in there, and I think that's a happy solution.
Katie, what do you think?
Well, I was going to bring up the Troy project that Jack mentioned because it reminded me of that. I don't know, though, Jack, social distancing, you can't really get 12 people in a spot right now. Taylor, to your point, yes, I immediately thought of Europe and just how the cafes are, it's all outside dining. It's a lifestyle over there. So we're not used to that here, especially in upstate. It's not New York City where you're walking everywhere. You got to get in your car and go somewhere. So I see the problem with parking for residents and for people who are going to the town for, to go out. There is a parking garage in Saratoga being built as we speak. I think, when phase 1 opened up a few weeks ago, they could start construction on it.
Oh.
It's right across from 9 Maple and diagonal from Gaffney's. So that, for what it's worth, would help the parking problem up there. But again, I think it should just be try it. Why not? It'll get people out, get your steps in. There's enough people that live in the downtown areas of Troy, Albany, Schenectady, Saratoga, where they can walk and maybe enjoy it. So maybe, like Jack said, there can be some type of compromise where residents aren't super disrupted and, people can get their eat on and restaurants can serve some people and, get some business going because we can't really, can't survive the summer continuing on.
Summer is the prime complaining time for everybody.
Oh.
And I get it. Sam, listen, I hate winter and I'm all for anybody that complains about winter. But summer, you live in upstate New York, you have to enjoy and make the most of everything in the summer. And it's already started. People are oh, it's too hot this week, it's too this, and you just can't freaking win with, I think, New England and upstate New York, as we all know, with the weather. So this, to me, just another logistics question. People, first of all, if the restaurants are at 50% capacity, people are going to be pissed that they're going to be waiting around forever because I assume everybody's still going to want to go out. So there's that problem there. There's the complaint. So I waited in line, blah, blah, blah. You probably don't have a good plan B because it's all going to be the same. Right. And if something like this came to life, people just will not be able to handle how hot it's going to be, how the service is like back and forth. You're not going to have any air. You're not going to have any heaters for at night. Like, it's just another complicated summer thing that shouldn't be complicated that people are going to complain about. The parking, like, in the summer, I just want to, like, obviously retreat to my summer home.
Right.
Tell everybody to, like, take 5 and see you in the fall if you're going to be like that. So I just think a lot of potential loopholes there, you know. I'm not crazy about either outcome. And I could go one of two ways with this next topic because we're on a Saratoga kick, and I think that's where my gut tells me to go. And that is that, obviously, it has been reported that NYRA Saratoga Racecourse will operate without fans for its 8-week, very popular summer season. You know, Two Button Zeep had a big summer there last year, not to turn it back to us, but I'm gonna. And we're bummed. Talk about a life event you're missing out on. We could submit to our own contest. And I have a couple theories on what this means, what it could bring, but I just want to get your guys' thoughts on what does a summer without track season look like specifically? Like, talk about that for me. Again, gonna kick it to Jack because we got that background.
Oh, I thought you were talking about my background. I was like, what does this have to do with it?
Oh, no, just like, you know, like we got a background.
Yeah, very
Got some
sad.
history.
Hashtag 2BD at the track will not resume. I don't think it's over forever. We'll be back, so I'm not too concerned. I'm excited for the alternative. I think it'll probably be much less foot traffic in Saratoga and a lot less, you know, people coming up from Long Island, and I'm okay with that. So I think it's going to be a more authentic summer. And I know Two Buns Deep has some stuff up our sleeve on how we're going to make this a season like no other, truly a season like no other. That's the tagline of the century.
Ooh, oh, that's a new one now.
That in their headline for this, a season like no other. And I think we're going to run with that because it is. And I think it might even be better. So I always complain. I don't love being in huge crowds of people. So
Summer complaint.
I think we are going to get right to the fine point where I like to be at and make something special. So stay tuned.
Sam, what do you think? Because you experienced your first track season with us last summer.
So yeah, I mean, I lived in Albany for a few years, but my first time at the track was last summer with you guys. It was so much fun. You meet so many people, the experience of everyone dressing up, you know, betting on the races. I'm a little sad because I have a lot of friends and family from Syracuse. I was hyping it up last summer as I was experiencing it. And I was like, oh, I can't wait for next summer you guys can come visit. Like, I know where to go, what to do. And now we can't do anything. But like Jack said, we might have some things, you know, up our sleeve, you know, to make it as best.
You could put a lot in there, Taylor.
So I think, you know, hopefully we can make the best out of it and still have a good time. No coronavirus is going to stop us from having a party at Two Buttons Deep. So,
Katie, what do you think, girlfriend?
Yeah, I think that's just the motto, right? Like, embrace the change. It's never like all we have is now, right? Not to be cliche, but it's like what we had is gone, and we don't know what the future is going to be like. So like I said before, like, now is the time to make changes, be creative, experience things a new way. And I think for Saratoga, like, yeah, it's going to be a huge hit for the economy and for the whole capital region. I mean, I even know people, hotel bookings in Schenectady are very busy during track season because that's just, you know, it spreads all the way down here. But it will be nice, to Jack's point, to see how the community can support that town. Like, pretty much Albany, Schenectady, Troy are pretty self-sustainable because we're not big tourist destinations. It's the local community, the neighborhoods, spending money, doing what they do. Troy small business community is all in cahoots with each other, which is awesome. Saratoga can rely on that national tourism, right? Like, it's a huge spot. So I think if anything, it's gonna maybe help small businesses, the residents who live there, get back to their roots and maybe really try to, I don't want to say they don't resonate with the word community, but they're not going to have that crutch anymore financially to rely on people who can spend the big bucks in that town. So hopefully, you know, we're going to see what Saratoga can do with the community and, you know, hopefully survive. And we'll be there to support them. You know, it's going to look different, but I'm all for it. You know, problems are the new normal. Resilience is the new skill. Don't quote me on that. I read that in a Harvard Business Review article like years ago, but it's something that stuck with me. And I really believe it to be true. So let's be resilient, have a good time, and fill our sleeves up with some good stuff.
Katie, that was some words of wisdom right there. We had it all in this Squadcast. We had excitement.
Good one.
We had a weird story with a plunger. I didn't take a shower. We had a little bit of a live audience. This has been a very entertaining
Yeah,
afternoon.
let's show off our live audience. Come on
It's
up.
the first
We
part.
have
It's the
our-
first
Yeah,
show of
I'm
the
sorry.
summer.
All right, so
There he is.
Here's my.
Hey.
we have our intern, Evan. He's going to be interning 2 Buns Deep for the summer. Katie, who do you have?
I have my little Russian doll. It's actually a thank you note from a cute little shop in downtown Schenectady, Bear and Bird Gallery. I love it. So I ordered some cool, fun stuff. And this is a little note card. So I thought it looked a little sterile. So I put her up today. So thanks for noticing. I'm glad she came today.
And do we need an introduction?
No, we don't. She's
Come
here.
on, you're only one
Here.
zipper deep. What's going on?
No, that's two. That's two.
Oh.
Is it?
That's two.
We might have to go a little
Okay.
bit more, but that'll happen.
Yeah, my rate
yeah, not
spike the
tonight.
rating.
We're gearing up. We're
Yeah.
gearing up, people.
Right.
More people in our lives safely, of course. But what a great Squadcast. As always, guys, make sure you go and enter at twobuttonsdeep.com/bounceback for our new contest where you can win a great big grand prize. That was weird.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Peace out.
Bye, guys.
Cheers, squad. Happy weekend.